Imagine how powerful the fusion of Goku and Gohan would be. A fusion that had to be removed from the script a long time ago. Let's start from this point. Goku and Vegeta complement each other. Yes, we know that. But here's the equation. When a Saiyan combines their genes with a human's, they gain an indescribable hidden power. This is the case with Gohan, and we also know that. But now, if a pure-blooded Saiyan comes into contact with human genes through fusion, they would surpass even an angel. And I'm going to prove it to you. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and turn on the bell. The most powerful warrior on Earth, and the one who, since childhood, was announced as the true prodigy among the Saiyans. What would happen if, for a greater reason, due to a destiny emergency or a threat that surpasses everything that has ever been faced, Goku and Gohan decided to fuse? We're not talking about a regular fusion, like we've seen before. We're talking about the fusion that was considered in the past, but removed from the script, because maybe it was too soon to show something that could rival the gods themselves. The Dragon Ball universe is built on layers of power stacked like mountains, with each new peak only emerging once the previous one has been conquered. But this particular fusion would be such a massive leap that it might break the logic of those peaks, an ascent to the top that's impossible to measure. Goku represents the pinnacle of power achieved through training, overcoming limits, and relentless evolution. He is the pure-blood Saiyan who, despite being a low-class warrior, defied the destiny of his race with discipline, fighting spirit, and an unmatched heart. On the other hand, Gohan, his son, represents the other side of the coin. The power that sleeps within calm, sensitivity, and hidden potential. Half human, half Saiyan, Gohan carries the instability of instinct and emotion, but also possesses something no other warrior ever had. A hybrid nature that allows him to reach mental and spiritual states that a pure Saiyan could never access alone. This genetic mix is so rare and powerful that even the angels observe it carefully. So let's think, if a half-human like Gohan already has power reserves capable of challenging time and space, as we saw in his beast form that transcends the logic of the gods, what would happen if that power was fused with a warrior who has already mastered the highest stages of Ultra Instinct? The answer wouldn't just be a powerful fusion. It would be an entirely new entity. A being that combines Goku's cosmic serenity with Gohan's divine rage. And more than that, the union of a pure Saiyan, shaped by pain and battle, with the emotional and empathetic legacy of a human. This detail is essential, because what's often ignored is that human DNA in the Dragon Ball universe is not a limitation, but rather a bridge to new types of energy. Humans, even without the raw power of science, have a unique ability to generate strength from emotional bonds. Anger, sadness, compassion, hope, all of this translates into vital energy. That's what allowed Gohan to defeat Cell when he was still a teenager. That's what made him the first to reach Super Saiyan 2, and it's that legacy that later shaped his beast form, something neither Goku nor Vegeta could immediately understand. Now, imagine that combined with Goku's mastery of Ultra Instinct, a technique that demands the emptying of ego, the silencing of the soul, and absolute instinct. The fusion of these two worlds would create an energy that transcends the concept of normal ki, something even the angels couldn't classify. And that's where the real threat to the gods arises. What makes the angels so powerful isn't just the amount of energy they possess, but how they control it. Whis, for example, is the ultimate example of absolute control. He doesn't get exalted, he doesn't get distracted, and everything he does perfectly. But what if someone, through fusion, achieved that same level of perfection, but with soul, with emotion, with human purpose? That's the difference between power born from a divine system and power born from effort. The angels are part of the cosmic structure, but Gokan, as we would call this fusion, would be a transgressor, someone born from the desire to protect, to overcome, and to change the world through sheer willpower. Gokan would be the first entity to represent this fusion of philosophies, a warrior who not only executes the technique, but feels it, molds it with his heart, his memories, his legacy. And maybe that's why this fusion has never been shown, because it wouldn't just be a visual spectacle, it would be a paradigm shift. It would be admitting that a mortal can indeed surpass an angel, and not through copying, but through invention. Goku, throughout his journey, has always sought to learn from the gods, but never to become one. His goal has always been to protect his own, and become stronger for the love of battle. Gohan, on the other hand, is driven by something deeper, an almost academic sense of justice, the conviction that knowledge and compassion are forms of strength. When these two unite, it's not just physical power that combines. its worldviews, its purposes intertwining. The fusion between Goku and Gohan, at this point in the story, would have unpredictable consequences. The resulting body from this union would be stable due to the balance in their mentalities. Goku would not experience dissonance. On the contrary, there would be a natural synergy. The two trust each other, admire each other deeply, and share similar values, even if they arrive at them through different paths. This harmony would allow for a longer fusion time, maybe even permanent, if the ritual were performed with Whis' help or through a new method that combines Patera with angelic meditation. It's even possible that this fusion could be blessed by a higher deity, recognizing that it's not just two bodies uniting, but two eras, two legacies merging for a greater good. A fact here before continuing is this. Gohan did indeed have a connection with a type of divine power even before Goku achieved his first divine transformation. When he was still a teenager, during the events of the Majin Buu saga, he underwent a ritual performed by the Supreme Kai of Universe 7, the Elder Kai, who unlocked all of his hidden potential without the need for transformations like Super Saiyan. This ritual is considered a form of divine unlocking because it was performed by a deity and involved a technique rooted in the ancient knowledge of the gods. The result was a form known as Mystic Gohan or Ultimate Gohan, in which he reached absurdly high power levels while maintaining his base appearance. No aura explosions, no golden hair, just his energy flowing clean and controlled. He surpassed Goku and Vegeta in this state and faced Majin Buu in a devastating way, demonstrating a calmness and superiority that resembled the characteristics the angels have over their ki. Unlike Goku, who had to train with Whis and access an inner divinity through a ceremony involving other scions to become a Super Saiyan god, Gohan simply had his power brought to the surface by mystical means directly linked to the gods of the universe. This shows that, even before the emergence of divine transformations in Goku, Gohan had already followed an alternative path, and perhaps even a more natural one, toward this kind of more refined energy. It is possible to consider that his sensitivity and mastery over this force come from an ancient instinct, perhaps something inherited from his hybrid lineage, half Saiyan and half human, where the emotional connection is more intense and pure. This clearly manifests in his most decisive fights, where he reaches power peaks driven by deep feelings such as rage, love, or justice. This combination of emotional intelligence with hidden power gave him an advantage in many moments, and even today with the Beast Mode, Gohan continues to deepen this connection that was born back then, in his youth, with the awakening of his true self by divine hands. Goku, on the other hand, had to rebuild himself several times, seeking within himself the emptiness necessary to reach Ultra Instinct, something that demands detachment and a calm mind, something that was not part of his initial nature. Gohan had already demonstrated this control from the start, even without needing to train with gods or travel to sacred planets, which makes him a special case among all warriors. That said, finally, the most interesting part of all is that Goku would not be invincible in the common sense. He would still have limits, would still need to adapt, would still need to evolve, but those limits would be more elastic, more refined. The ability to learn in combat, which Goku always showed, would now be combined with Gohan's intellectual and analytical memory. This means that Goku would be able to adapt to a divine technique after seeing it only once. It would be like fusing the instinct of a martial artist with the mind of a scientist. It's not just strength, it's the science of battle. In a possible fight against Whis, for example, the outcome would not be as predictable as one might imagine. Although Whis is at a level that Goku has never reached alone, Goku would be another kind of fighter. He would not rely only on strength or speed, but on strategic intelligence and emotional mastery. Whis could control time, but Goku could read the pattern of time. He could feel the pulse of the technique and adapt his body even before the strike was launched. This anticipation is something only a being like him could develop. And even more, Goku would have the ability to provoke changes around him, influencing other warriors, as Gohan has already done in the past with Piccolo, Videl, even Broly. The energy he emanates inspires balance, respect, and trust. And speaking of Broly, it's interesting to think how he would react to seeing this fusion. The legendary Super Saiyan, now calmer and trained, could see in Goku a point of reference, perhaps even an ideal rival, but hardly an enemy, because Goku would not come into the world to dominate, but to protect. He would be the missing link between mortals and angels, someone born from the best of two worlds, the warrior spirit of a pure Saiyan, and the receptive heart of a human. The fusion of extremes. The fusion of the impossible. This warrior would not need to prove anything to anyone. His mere existence would already be proof that the impossible can be overcome. Gohan, with his steady eyes, his aura divided between the silver calm of Ultra Instinct and the wild shine of Beast, would not just be a new character. He would be a message that it is not necessary to be a god to surpass the gods. You just need to be the perfect result of two forces that respect each other, love each other, and believe in the power of union. What if Gohan accessed a new type of divine ki that's also here? Could nostalgia consciously pulse through his veins during battles? And what would it be like for Goku to perfectly share his thoughts and emotions with his son for the first time? Goku and Gohan have a deep respect for each other. Goku admires Gohan's intelligence and potential, while Gohan respects his father's strength and determination. This mutual admiration would create a solid foundation for the fusion. Their abilities and characteristics complement each other perfectly. Goku brings his battle experience and fighting instinct, while Gohan contributes strategy and intelligence. Together, they would form a cohesive and effective unit. The fusion would balance Goku's impulsiveness and Gohan's caution, allowing for a more balanced approach in fights, combining immediate action with strategic planning. Although the fusion would be a unique entity, the consciousness of both Goku and Gohan would still be present. They could converse internally, discussing strategies and decisions, taking advantage of the best of both worlds. Both share a strong desire to protect their loved ones and the planet. This common motivation would strengthen the fusion's determination to face any threat. Goku always seeks to become stronger, and Gohan, even more reluctant, also desires to improve. Together, they would constantly be looking for ways to enhance their skills and powers. Goku is more carefree and adventurous, while Gohan is more serious and responsible. These differences could create internal conflicts, but would also help the fusion find a healthy balance. The fusion would carry the pressure of both their expectations, Goku always wanting to surpass his limits, and Gohan feeling the responsibility of living up to his father's legacy. Handling these pressures would be a challenge, but also a source of strength. The fusion would allow both to learn from each other on a deep level. Goku could learn to be more strategic and thoughtful, while Gohan could adopt a more confident and fearless posture. Over time, the fusion would evolve, finding new ways to combine their skills and overcome challenges. This continuous evolution would make the fusion an increasingly powerful and harmonious force. At the moment, Gohan has the beast inside him, and Goku possesses the calm of Ultra Instinct, still in the process of evolution and adaptation. With this possible union of the two, would it be possible to unify these two mental states? I believe they would both find a way to deal with that. Like it or not, Goku is very intelligent in terms of battles and techniques, just as he used Kaioken with Super Saiyan Blue, which uses the power of a god. The Super Saiyan God, he connected the aura of the two, forming something stronger. Even with the risks, he didn't hesitate to transform. So he would find a way to use Beast Mode with Ultra Instinct, which could generate a new transformation, maybe Instinct Beast, even with Kaioken. Gohan, as always, would correspond to Goku's thoughts, not just for being his son, but for being very strong and intelligent, as shown in the Power Tournament manga, and in the way he finds control over Beast Mode, breaking the rage limiter that made him lose control. Actually, adjust would be the right word. Thus, he increases his ki during the fight, with Goku on Beerus planet, and manages to break Ultra Instinct without losing calm, remaining in control, to the point that even Broly learned to control himself afterward, and for the first time, managed to transform into legendary Super Saiyan without losing control. This is the effect Gohan has on people. He is a natural and calm leader. The fusion would improve their ki control, allowing the use of powerful techniques with greater efficiency and lower energy consumption. As mentioned above, this would apply to both, who would share their battles and know how to contribute to each other. Just as Gogeta and Vegito have their own techniques, Goku would certainly have his own. Both are scions and share a great desire to become stronger together, as we saw in the fight before the Power Tournament, where both dream of becoming stronger side by side, a pride for both.